Hello everyone, welcome to today's video of Easy Neuro. Today's topic is the resting membrane potential. Now, as we discussed in our previous videos, that a neuron sends as well as receive signals or electrical impulses from other cells, right? And we also discussed there are two types of synapses, electrical and chemical, right? And they transfer the signals to excite the postsynaptic neuron. Okay, so in that way a neuron is both electrically and chemically excitable. Okay, now how this actually occurs or how the signal transfer occurs is because the neuron has a charged cellular membrane, which means that there are ions or charged molecules present across the membrane of the neuron. Okay, so on both the extracellular and the intracellular side, there are ions which are present. Okay, and this creates a potential difference or a voltage across the membrane of the neuron. Alright, and that actually helps in the neuronal transfer of signals. Okay, now to understand the signal transfer and the neurotransmission, first we actually have to understand that what happens to the neuron at the resting stage. Okay, so resting stage means that when there is no incoming signal to the neuron. Okay, so that is a resting stage. So the voltage across the plasma membrane of an unstimulated excitable cell is the resting potential or resting membrane potential. Okay, which is represented as Vm. So it is the potential difference across the membrane of the neuron when it is unstimulated. Okay, so there is no signal that is coming to it. It is at the resting stage. Alright, so let's look a little more into this. So this diagram over that you see over here, okay, so this is of the cell membrane of the neuron. Okay, so this is the extracellular side. Okay, and this is the intracellular side. Okay, so this is inside the neuron, okay, and this is outside the neuron. Alright, now the cell membrane of a neuron is actually a lipid bilayer. Okay, so this is a lipid bilayer. Alright, which basically separates the cytosol of the neuron from the extracellular fluid. Alright, and this lipid bilayer basically has these lipids over here. They are in two layers, okay, and they have this round thing over here that you see over here. It's the head, okay. So this head is actually a polar head. Okay, so it is hydrophilic in nature, which means it is attracted to water. Okay, and these tails that you see over here, which are facing each other, are the non-polar tails, or we can say they are hydrophobic. Okay, so they are not attracted to water. Okay, so this is the structure of the lipid bilayer. Alright, now this lipid bilayer is also impermeable to ions. Okay, so it does not allow these ions to come across the membranes. Okay, so they don't allow the ions or charged molecules to go across the membranes. Okay, but this voltage has to be maintained, right? So how this happens is that there are special proteins which are embedded in this bilayer, and they are known as ion channels. Okay, so these are ion channels. Okay, special proteins which span the membrane. Okay, so they are present throughout the membrane of the neuron, and they allow this transfer of ions. Okay, so they allow ions to go outside or inside. Okay, so you have ions here. Okay, so they will allow them to come inside or go outside. You have ions here also. Okay, so these are our ion channels. Now these ion channels also can be of different configurations, which means that either they can be open or closed or inactive. Okay, so for a brief period of time they are inactive, and after some time they will again be opened in response to some stimulus. Okay, also depending on the stimulus, the channels can open. For example, if there is a voltage change, there are ion channels called voltage gated ion channels. Okay, voltage gated ion channels which can open if there is any voltage difference. Okay, and they're very specific also. For example, for sodium, there is a particular ion channel which is called voltage gated sodium channel. Okay, so that will open when there is a voltage difference. Okay, so every ion channel is specific to that particular ion. Okay, also there can be there are ion channels which open response to a neurotransmitter, so they are known as ligand gated ion channels. Okay, so right now we'll focus on the voltage gated ion channels only. Okay, now let's look at this table here which mentions the ionic concentrations in the mammalian neurons. Okay, so how are the ions actually distributed across the membranes? Okay, so sodium has extracellularly, it's present in a higher concentrations, about 145 millimolars. Okay, so sodium is higher on the extracellular side. All right, on the other hand, potassium is more on the intracellular side. Okay, so potassium is more on the intracellular side of the neuron. Okay, so inside the neuron there is more potassium which is present. Okay, and outside there is more sodium. Okay, and this is very important concept that should be remembered to understand later on that how actually the neuronal transfer of signals actually occurs. Okay, then there are other ions also like chloride, which is present more on the extracellular side, and there's calcium, which is also in very less concentration, and intracellularly it's very less, it's 0.1 micromolar. Okay, now the resting potential of a neuron is actually around minus 65 to minus 70 millivolts. Okay, so the resting potential, or also known as the resting membrane potential, is minus 65 to minus 70 millivolts. Okay, and this is again, as we said earlier, that is maintained because of these differences in the voltage across the membrane. Okay, and that is maintained because of these ions here. Okay, now these ions, we see here that potassium is more in the inside, and that is also responsible for causing this resting membrane potential to be negative 65 to minus 70. Okay, so we will study in the next video also that how actually this resting membrane potential is maintained and why it is negative also. Okay, so we'll study that in the next video, but right now I just want you to get this concept right, that there are ion channels present, okay, which cause these ions to move across the membranes. There is sodium more on the outside, more potassium on the inside. Okay, also there is one more concept, which is equilibrium potential. Okay, which means that potential for an ion when there is no net movement of the ion across the membrane because the opposing fluxes are equal. Okay, so equilibrium potential is actually specific for an ion. Okay, so for any ion, for example, it is specific for sodium, for potassium, chlorine and calcium. Okay, so what it means is that when the opposing fluxes are equal, when the amount of the ion which is going out is the same as the one which is going in, okay, the net movement is cancelled out. Okay, the amount of ion going in is equal to the amount of ion going out. Okay, so the opposing fluxes are equal, so there is no net movement, right? And that is the potential for an ion. Okay, that is the equilibrium potential when there is no net movement of the ion across the membrane. Okay, now for every ion there can be a different direction, there can be a different magnitude, all right, because there are different concentrations also across the membranes. Okay, And the equilibrium potential for an ion is calculated using the Nernst equation. Okay, so Nernst equation is that the equilibrium potential represented as E ion is equal to 61 by Z, where Z is the valency, okay, log of ion out, which is the concentration of the ion outside, that is extracellularly, divided by the ion in, that is concentration of the ion intracellularly. Okay, so if you put the concentrations of the particular ions, for example for sodium or potassium here, you will get the equilibrium potential of these specific ions. Okay, so if you calculate the equilibrium potential for potassium while putting these values here, you will see that the equilibrium potential of potassium comes out to be around minus 80 millivolts. Okay, comes out to be around minus 80 millivolts, which is very close to the resting membrane potential. Okay, so that's why potassium is very important for maintaining this resting membrane potential, and we will talk more about it in the next video. Okay, but right now I just want you to get the concept right, that how this lipid bilayer is present on these ion channels and what is the different concentrations of the ions across the membrane. Okay, so in the next video we will learn more about how this resting membrane potential is actually maintained. Alright, so till then, thank you for watching my video. If you liked it, please like, share and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Bye.